Hi, I'm Roger Himes, the Gospel Coach from Castle Pines, Colorado, USA. For the next 4 or 5 minutes, I got some gospel music and musings for you. Songs of worship and words of hope. Jesus, 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 Holy and Anointed One, Jesus, Risen and Exalted One, Jesus. You know, we human beings must have something to put our trust in. That's why living by laws and religion and rules and precepts and principles is so appealing and so important to us. They offer us a sense of control and a result that we desire. The problem with them is they place dependence on us, faith in us, on self, not in God. Hebrews 6:1 says our faith must be in God. Paul says any other kind of faith is worshiping the creature, which is us, not the Creator. That's why Jesus says deny ourselves. The gospel truth of God's grace is God's way of getting us to deny ourselves. All focus is on Him, on what He's done, and what He's doing in us now. The maxim is true. It's all about Him. But until we start living gospel truth, it's all about us. You've heard it preached many times, I'm sure, about the world, the flesh, and the devil. That's all there is without the gospel. We need to see that. This is because the world includes religion. When Jesus and Paul talked about the world, they didn't mean sex, drugs, acid rock, and porn. That's modern stuff. They meant religion. They lived in a very religious time and a very religious culture. When Jesus said the world was opposed to Him, He didn't mean the Romans. The Romans couldn't care less about Him. He meant the Jews and their old covenant religion. Living by self or by flesh or by worldly ways will blind us to gospel truth. This includes any old covenant Bible Christianity, which Jesus and Paul would call the world. Most of us live in the world, the flesh, and the devil before we became Christians. That's why Jesus says repent of all other beliefs and believe the gospel. You know, even those who become Christian very young still live in a world in the flesh, although they may avoid the devil, but they still grow up in religion and performance standards. It's reported that fewer than 3% of all Christians grow up in a purely gospel of grace type of home. That's about the same figures given about most success in MLM companies, right? But religion and living by laws either makes people sad or mad. It makes them mad if they can't do it, and sad if they have some sense of success but can't do better. Either way, what they do is try to impose their way of life on others. And this is true whether they're parents or pastors, whether they're peers or anybody else. Psychology calls this deficiency motivation. But the gospel provides proficiency motivations. That's what I call it. Because it's the process of God that allows us to live life better by accident than we ever could on purpose. Religion demands that we live life right, but the gospel is the power of God that enables us to live life right. I'm Roger Himes, the Gospel Coach, and it's my job to help you live more in the gospel of grace and truth and in the power of God. Jesus, 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 Holy and Anointed One, Jesus, risen and exalted one, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus.